months old, we were hiking in Wilder Ranch State Park north of Santa Cruz when I saw my first real train. It was the Union Pacific Santa Cruz local, returning from the weekly run it made back then to the Davenport cement plant. I've been a big rail fan ever since, especially of modern era diesels. One of my favorite model railroaders is Pele Seaborg, whose layout in Denmark depicts California's Mojave Desert, which is one of the world's busiest freight train routes. So when my papa asked where I wanted to go for a road trip during spring break from second grade, the choice was obvious. The first train we saw was a southbound Union Pacific auto rack that we caught up with just outside Salinas. It was pulled by a 2-locomotive consist comprised of UP 8069, a GE ES44AC, and led by UP 7145, a GE AC44 CW. Chasing this train all the way up the Salinas Valley and stopped again to watch it pass just outside King City. Pretty soon we left the UP tracks in our rearview mirror and headed across the Central Valley, where we met up with the old Santa Fe tracks and watched this BNSF manifest roll by at speed. We stopped to eat our lunch at Kern Junction by the Union Pacific Yard in Bakersfield. This is the place where the BNSF and UP tracks come together to share the route up Tehachapi Pass. Well, we're in Benham. We are climbing Tehachapi Pass.
We're getting up there.
A little while later, we found ourselves in Tehachapi Pass, just outside Caliente, with the sound of an approaching train in the distance. It turned out to be an empty piggyback train pulled by 3 Burlington Northern Santa Fe ES44 DCs with 7229 in the lead. Tehachapi Pass is the route trains take to get from the relatively low central San Joaquin Valley to the high desert of the Mojave. They have to gain over 3,000 feet of elevation in only 50 track miles, so there's a lot of S-curves and tunnels, and the crowning achievement of the route, the Tehachapi Loop. This is a spiral or helix where the tracks actually pass over themselves, gaining 77 feet of elevation in under a mile.
Crossing the pass right now.
Built in 1876, it's been named one of the railroad wonders of the world, and every day an average of 40 UP and BNSF freights travel around it.
This is it, ladies and gentlemen. Tehachapi Loop.
The loop itself. As we continued on down the more gradual eastern slope of Tehachapi Pass into the desert, the talking detectors we heard over our radio scanner informed us of the progress of more trains.
UP detector, milepost.
377.0, track 1, no defects. Total axles, 440. Train speed 17 mph. Temperature 51 degrees. Detector out.
When we arrived in the town of Mojave itself, the resemblance to Daneville on Pele Seymour's layout was obvious. The Union Pacific keeps a small yard in Mojave, and we would be staying at the appropriately named Desert Winds Motel right across the highway from it. With Denny's for dinner and breakfast, we would be fully immersing ourselves in the experience of being in Mojave. On the south side of town, we were watching the UP switchers work in the late afternoon light when we caught one last glimpse of 7229. The train we chased to Tehachapi Pass as it veered off on the BNSF main across the desert towards Barstow, the same route we'd be taking